It's a brand new episode of Clayon Couch. Yeah. What my dude Jacob? Here we go. Let's go.
I know I'm gonna try so hard.
Yeah, you're gonna so look at you. I'm sure you are, because you love to look at yourself.
Couch. Yeah. Well, we gonna talk about this week.
Hey guys, I mean, hey, dude, there. Welcome, people. Welcome. This is Clayon Couch with Jacob. My name is Clayon. That is Jacob. Brand new episode for you guys. New structure. New way to do it.
New angle of the couch.
Right. Changed up the look, new look, you know what I mean? Changed up the angle. Same old couch. But, yeah, we're here, guys. We just want to welcome you. Hopefully the hiatus has shined light upon your kingdom. But anyways, Jacob, man, what's going on? How's life? Dog?
It's just life, man. It's going good. It's going fine. Yeah, it's been well, like 2 months since we did one of these, right? Or
Yes.
But life's been good, man. You know, it's just nothing's much has changed since before. Just steady on, going on, man. You know, sticking it to the man, paying your taxes. You know,
That's the way you do it. That's the way you stick it to the man. You pay your goddamn taxes on time.
I'm gonna stick it to you by
I'm
paying
stick
you.
it to you by following the rules, man. So Jacob, I have 3 questions for you to begin the show with. The first question I have for you, Jacob, does music influence people or do people influence music? Now, the reason why I'm asking you this question is because I've been watching a lot of Jamaican news, and right now Jamaica is dealing with a lot of violent gun crime, and some of the politicians are talking about banning some of the dancehall music because a lot of dancehall music glorifies gun and violence.
Oh.
And the argument that they're having is like basically that the music is influencing people's actions. So that's why I guess I'm curious to ask your opinion on this. Like, what do you think music influences people, or do you think people influence music?
I don't think there's a clear cut like this influences that. I think it's beneficial on both parts. I think you can say yes to both of those variations of the question because music is art, and you know, just like and it reflects real worldness and stuff. And I don't think it's such a clear cut case as like, oh, that doesn't influence us, but we influence that. Yeah. For instance, when I'm driving on the highway, if a good like techno pop song comes on, I drive a little bit faster, you know. So it's like, so I mean, yeah, I can, and then I know over time as well, like especially like in cultures that have been oppressed and everything like that, I know music sometimes can rally people together, and it can influence people. I mean, look at back in the day, like when we had slavery in this country, a lot of times when they were out in the fields, the slaves and everything, they would sing music together,
right, exactly.
You know, to keep themselves.
It's kind of like a motivation.
So thing. I think it can influence people. But I know it's kind of a cop out, but I think yes to both of those questions. I think we can influence music, and I think music can influence us because music had to be created by someone. So it's almost like we're influencing ourselves, but we're just using, and music is just like a filter sometimes.
I agree with you. I don't think it's a cop out. Let me start out. I don't think what you said was actually a cop out. Maybe because I agree with what you're saying. Yeah. I think they influence each other. I do think people influence music, you know, trends, how people are talking, what people gravitate to, that influence music. But I also think what people say in their music influences people. Music can influence someone's actions, right? If you're listening to a bunch of drug songs glorifying selling dope, as a kid with a moldable mind, you're hey, I'm hearing all this good stuff. I can make all this money. I can get all these bitches. I can do, you know, I can whip this kind of car or whatever. So I do think that the music does influence people, and I think it's lazy for artists to pretend like what they're saying doesn't have an effect on the world and on people.
Yeah, and it's like, I think even when you were saying that, it's just like, a good way to say it too is like art. I mean, music is just one of the many strings that fall from the art yarn ball. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like even like back in like, I mean, not even just this is specific example, but like even like remember like political cartoons and stuff like that. You know, that's art. You know, caricatures and stuff like that. You know, they're made to influence someone or to make you feel a certain way about a certain person or a political party. So it's just like music is just one of the many little branches from the big tree of art that can influence anyone. You know, just like
Do you think it's the responsibility of the artist to censor what they're saying to make sure that their music isn't influencing people or kids in a bad way?
See, I've heard that before, like that. Like I remember it's probably been done a lot of times, but right. I remember, for instance, when Eminem was making his music, I remember people being like, and I recently heard about like, I think Cardi B, I heard something, my wife was telling me something about Cardi B was getting some backlash from her music as well, because I guess, quick little side, I guess she was like, her song WAP was on, and I guess like her daughter, and like she went and shut it off real quick, and people were like criticizing her, be like, oh, you, and she was basically saying it's up to the parents' responsibility to monitor their kids.
Yeah, she doesn't make music for kids.
Yeah, so to answer your question, I think they can distance themselves a little bit from that, because at the end of the day, yeah, like you shouldn't have to censor what you're saying because you're trying to make sure it's completely safe when it gets out there and it goes to the right ears. I mean, I think it's up to people who are in supervisory positions, like parents, you know, guardians, stuff like that. I think it's up to you to control what your kids or dependents, what they hear, what they see, because I think it would be impossible. How would you as an artist make it so you come out perfectly cookie cutter and no one is going to be influenced in the wrong way by your stuff?
I think, though, there's a difference between expressing yourself and glorifying, right? I think you can express yourself. Like, for instance, if you come from a culture of violence and guns, you can say, yo, this is my life. I live in a community where people are getting shot every day. That's different from saying, yo, I got guns, I be shooting niggas, fuck that shit, niggas can die. That is different.
Yes, you are.
That
you
is
are
completely
right.
different. So
Right.
I agree. I think that if you are going to make an explicit song, you can't then run away from it. So if the Cardi B instance, I think it's appropriate for her to shut off the music. She doesn't want her kid to listen to that kind of music because that's not appropriate.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that. She is making music for adults, right? Adults should know that the kind of music that she's making is for them. So I feel like, what was my point originally? I was saying that there's a
difference between glorifying and expressing.
Right, glorifying intent. So with Cardi B, if she was saying, yo, I'm gonna sell my pussy to whoever, I'm gonna sell it because I don't care, I'm gonna sell it because this pussy's for everybody, come get this pussy here, like some shit like that, then I would be like, whoa! But she's not saying that. That's not what she's singing about. She's saying, my pussy's good, my man's gonna get it, I'm gonna give it to him, because her man.
Yeah.
Right? There's a difference between glorifying and talking about something and a subject. So I think if we think more like that, so if artists think about how they make songs like that, yeah, you could talk about what you're into. If you're into sex, go ahead, talk about sex. You're into like fucking, fine, talk about it. It's about when you start glorifying and sending the wrong message. I don't think it's up to the government to control that, but as an artist and as a person, it's up to you to censor yourself, to be like, yo, this thing that I'm saying, if I'm making a song about robbing, if I'm making a song that's glorifying robbing an individual at gunpoint, like, am I okay with whatever the consequences that might come from that?
I think you're right. I think it needs to have substance behind it. it needs to come from a grounded place. And like for instance, when NWA came out and stuff like that, people are like, oh my God, you're saying all these like things about shootings and robberies, and you're saying about how bad the police are and stuff like that. Well, they're like, well, that's what we come from. You know what I'm saying?
They weren't glorified. They were pointing out these
like
things that are happening. Exactly.
Just because the story may be a little bit more violent or a little bit more than what you're used to, that does not mean it's not a story. Right. Still,
it's nuance. I think America has a hard time with nuance. It's either like black and white. Like we're very quick to either bad or good, and sometimes it's not that. It's a nuance. It's about just finding the right way.
Yeah.
But anyways, I have a second question for you, Jacob. Question number 2. CyberPunk. What the fuck happened?
Oh,
because the reason why I'm asking this question, Jacob was super excited about this game, anticipating this game coming out. I haven't seen him since the game came out. He was salivating at the mouth. So,
I really was.
What the fuck happened?
Man, I will tell you, it's disappointing. Disappointing is not even the right word. It's just it's one of those things where it's like, it almost makes you have no faith left in any type of video game company, because the thing that makes this worse, because this isn't the first time a game has come out completely horrible and definitely undercooked severely, but it's one of the first times for me, at least, where I saw a company that prided themselves on being the exception to the rule. They were like, no, we are a company that's going to do it right. We care about the players, and we're going to make sure the players get an accurate representation of our vision and our dream.
Right.
And just for them to pull the same move that EA pulls, Ubisoft, like all these other companies that have more projects than you can count on one hand that have come out undercooked and underbaked. And I think the video game industry in a whole is moving towards the system where it doesn't matter how the game comes out. It matters how the game finishes later on. We can give you an undercooked piece of crap because we're gonna do this live service thing now. We're gonna give you patches and updates and stuff like that. And sure, you may make the game a little bit better. You may make it somewhat okay, but it's never gonna be at the level where it was supposed to be. And I am so happy I pre-ordered it. I canceled that pre-order. Like, it was just, and it was so sad to me, because for me the switch happened from like, you're so excited about it to you're completely shattered. Like, because all of a sudden I was so excited to talk to my supervisor after work. I'm like, go pick up CyberPunk after work, I'm ready to go. And then he shows me everything that's happened throughout the day. Because I'm at work, I have no idea what's going on in the world. Like, I don't know how the game came out and stuff like that. And he's just showing me reaction video after reaction video, and I'm just like, no. And he's like, yep. Yeah, that's how it is.
Do you think that it was undercooked because of the fans or because of the company?
Oh, nope. I've heard that argument that the company was like, oh, we were getting death threats and everyone was impatient. I don't care at the end of the day. That those players who, it sucks. I'm pretty sure there were some like that who were like, release the game. But that does not represent the majority, in my opinion. I think it was the company. I think it was, they were salivating at the holidays. They were like, we want to get that Christmas money in. You know what I'm saying? They had already delayed it a couple times, and maybe they were afraid of what might happen. But look what did happen.
Well, they delayed. It seemed to have delayed it for a reason.
Exactly.
To answer the question that I just asked, I think it's both. I think it's the developers are to blame because they succumb to pressure. And I think the fans put too much pressure on the developers to get a game out when they say they're going to get it out. So even musical fans do the same shit with albums. An artist is like, hey, I'm going to put an album out in September. September rolls around, the artist is like, you know what, I'm gonna actually, maybe October. What do the fans do? You said September! Why is it in September? Well, maybe because it's not done. So I think fanatics of things, just because a date is placed, they, like you said, have wrapped their entire life around this date, the come out date, because they know when to get the game, happens. They're gonna do this, right?
It's so true.
So they themselves salivating at this date that they've anticipated for. When the developers are like, you know what? It's not done yet.
Yeah.
Do fans then understand and be like, you know what? I am gonna wait because I want a good game. No, what? You said September. Why is it not out? So it's a lose-lose situation on the developer's part, no matter what. If they are patient themselves and they hold the game off and try to get it to the best.
Yeah.
They're gonna lose out because fans are gonna fucking complain. They're gonna piss and moan. I don't even want the game anymore. It's just they said September and it's now January and just fuck that. They can't win, so they would have lost either way. I think that they should have been patient and just kept working at the game and to get it perfect rather than succumbing to the pressure of their fans. So that's my answer.
I agree. But at the end, like you're right. I would say there's lots of truth to what you said about how we wrap ourselves around that one date. Like when there's a date for a game that nothing else matters. Like
you've planned your life. Okay, so I'm gonna wake up at 8:00. Right, I'm gonna go to work. Once I get to work, I'm gonna grab me a burger on the way home.
It's almost like sometimes with a date, like let's say the date's like a year off. Sometimes I tell myself, I'm like, imagine if the apocalypse happens. Like what? I don't know a world where I played that game. Like what's life gonna be like after I grab that game? Like. It's almost like that. So, but I think that, I think CyberPunk, CD Projekt Red, I think the company, I think they made a lot of promises, and I think the reason a lot of people get upset about delays, especially a game like Cyberpunk, is because that game was supposed to be in development for like 7-8 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, they've been working on this for a while and stuff. And when you talk the big talk, like when you're at your E3 press conferences and when you're doing all your marketing and you're showing snippets of a game and you're making all these big promises and these big dreams and these big aspirations, and then at the same time when you're not really putting your money where your mouth is, you know, and if they had to delay it and if they had to disappoint people, I feel like it would have been worth it because when that game would have came out, if it would have came out, let's say they delayed it from December to like, let's say April. Of course, they would have gotten lots of negative press. A lot of people would have been pissed and everything like that. But I think when the game came out, if it would have been what they promised, I think all that would have just went in the background. Yes, they would have lost, but what they would have gained is... I think is 10 times what they would have lost out.
I think fans of games need to take responsibility for games being undercooked. I think gamers are the funniest people. They blame everything on everyone else and never take any responsibility for why things are the way they are. We talk about these add-ons and them selling us extra shit. You want to know why those things are there? Because you niggas pay for it.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, you complain about shit and you do nothing about it and you feed into the system. You feed into a system you don't like because you don't want to be patient. It's all about the short rewards rather than the long game. So I blame it all on you gamers. I'm sorry, you're mad at me, you want to be upset with me. I don't give a fuck. Look in the mirror. It's on you. It's your fault why the game sucked. And also the developers. I'm not going to take any responsibility from the developers and say it's not their fault. It's clearly their fault. They succumb to pressure. But fans, niggas need to take 50% of the blame. You need to take 50% of why the game sucks. If you were more patient with the developers, and that's why I love a developer like Rockstar. I love Rockstar because they don't give a fuck what you say. They're going to make it on their time and they're going to make it good. And when a Rockstar game comes out, what happens? It is beautiful because they don't succumb to pressure. Look how long Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out.
Hi, that thing's still $60.
And people are like, oh, when is Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out? When it's finished.
You know, but honestly, I disagree with the 50-50. I think gamers are to blame, but I think at the end of the day, if we had to compare this relationship, the gamers are the children, the company is the adults. It doesn't matter how much your kid complains about they want McDonald's, they want the chicken nuggets now. You are the adult who's driving. You're like, no, you're gonna get comida en la casa. There's food at home. You know what I'm saying?
See, that makes sense if I would agree with you that gamers are kids. You niggas are adults. Get the fuck out of here. I would have no. That's giving them way too much. They're adult Majority of gamers are adult-ass men and women. Get the fuck out of here. They're not kids. The majority of gamers...
But you need to treat them like they are. You need to, the company...
CyberPunk is an adult video game. It is not a child video game. It's a bunch of fucking adults being impatient and haven't even learned their goddamn lesson.
But I'm saying, yo, Rockstar... Okay, this is just between CD Projekt Red and Rockstar, right? Rockstar will not tote their... Like, I feel like CD Projekt Red, what they should have done is... Because they knew how low quality at least the console versions were for the PS4 and the Xbox One, like the later the past gens. They knew how bad it was. So if you know it's that bad, why are you going to press conferences and why are you toting up the game like, oh yeah, it's almost like, look at this stuff, like, oh yeah, it's almost ready. We're in what they say came out a couple months ago or a month or two before they released it, and they said the game had gone gold, which means the game is practically done. All they're doing is fixing up little things. So at the same time, yes, you can face pressure from people, but you're facing that pressure because you're toting that the game is practically almost done. So if they delayed it 6 months, people be like, what the fuck? Like you've been toting like the game is like practically done. So of course we're gonna be pissed that you delayed it 6 months because obviously you're not telling us something that's behind the scenes. Right. So Rockstar, on the other hand, Rockstar will not start advertising their game. They will, like, I didn't start seeing Grand Theft Auto 5 advertisements until like a couple months before it released, you know what I'm saying? CD Projekt Red for the past like 2 years, they've been like, oh yeah, yo, it's coming out, you know what I'm saying? Don't be showing your game yet then. Because we can't act like they just suddenly open up the screen like, oh wow, the game's not ready. Like, they know the process of it.
All right, fine, I changed my number, okay?
You know what I'm saying?
Fine, okay, like it's not 50-50, like I'll give 25, okay, 25-75, okay, fine.
Because...
Maybe 30. No. Actually, no.
And you know what they said? When they first advertised that game like 2 or 3 years ago? They said release date. Because they're so about the gamers. They're so about making sure the game is good, right? They came out and said release date, and this is literally what they said: when it's ready. That's what they said for the release date. On the big screen in front of everyone, they said, when it's ready.
I'll agree with you. I agree with your point that they shouldn't have hyped up their fans and they lied to their fans. You're absolutely right. I didn't put that into my mind that yes. So I still think it's a high number on the fans. I would give them 30 and not 25.
32.
Because they're just I can't negate the fans.
You are right, because the fans' influence does have, especially when you have a lot of investors, you know what I'm saying? Like, you do have these outside pressure. It's not like you can just be like, no, this is my little project. You do have outside pressure from investors, because investors are going to see the fan backlash. So
right,
yes,
exactly.
They can exert somewhat of an outside pressure. But I think that's where it came to a company like CD Projekt Red, a company that everyone held in such high regard, to be like, we can't fold under that. We have to be the exception to the rule. You know what I'm saying? And they just simply became the rule. You know what I'm saying? And
it became typical, like many businesses do. All right, third question.
I was not expecting that question. I was like, oh, see, brother, what's going on here?
Third question. All right, what's better, finding $20 or finding something that's worth $20?
Ooh. I'm kind of biased to the finding something worth $20 because I'm always into finding like little treasures and stuff like that. I love going to thrift stores and stuff like that because of that reason. Like, I like finding little like little gems that someone like tossed away or something like that. I mean, I would be fine with either. Me personally, I'd be like, all right, $20, cool. But it depends on what the object is that's worth $20. Like, am I like, it would depend if it's like something cool or not. Like,
right. I don't know. I think. I go back and forth on this because it depends on the day, right?
Depends how that wallet's feeling.
Just depends, right? I'm saying it depends on that day. Like, I haven't gotten paid maybe in a week or so, and I'm down on funds.
Yeah, right.
$20 is a little bit more enticing. I'd rather pick up that $20 and then choose what I do with that. Maybe I get some food, I don't know. Yeah. I can choose. But if I'm content, if my wallet is fine, and something like finding something that's worth $20 would be like, oh, cool, because you never know, it might fit into something that you like. It might be, maybe it's a video game, maybe, I don't know.
Honestly, that's the best way to answer that question. It's so true though, because if I was like content, if I just got paid, I'm like, yeah, I don't really need 20. I mean, but hey, there's a cool little ditto to look at. But you're right. If it's a struggle day, you're like, shoo, yo. That's not. That was the perfect way to answer. The way you answer, that's the perfect way to answer. It depends on the mood, you know.
It really does. It really does. All right. So that is the 3 questions that we have. I put 2. This is called Someone Else's Shoe. Okay.
Someone else's shoe.
So basically, someone in this week said something idiotic, and I'm going to become them, and you have to guess who this person is. I'll give you some clues, all right? Tell Hunter Biden he forgot to pick up his lab pipe. I mean, crack top. I mean, you know the thing. you know what I'm saying. Tell Hunter Biden that. You get what I'm saying. You might actually know me. I was mostly known in the 90s. And what I'm saying is that I played a character in the 90s that you might know. Did you watch a lot of 90s television shows?
Somewhat.
You did?
Depends.
Yeah, man. Were you into warrior princesses and things of that nature?
No.
No, you weren't into any of those kind of...
It's funny, I know it's not Ted Cruz, but that's what I do. I
don't want to name drop, but if you know my dad, or my fictional dad, Zeus. I don't want to, just want to say, do you know who Zeus is?
Zeus, yes. God of Thunder.
That's right. In the show that I acted, he was my dad. You know what I'm saying? He was my diddy. He was my pop, if you know what I'm saying. I just want to say my career didn't really go so well after that, though. I didn't really do much after that. But I am known for playing a very heroic hero, very strong. Even though I didn't look that strong. I looked pretty weak back in the day. I had like long flowing hair. You don't remember me?
No, not at all.
You don't remember that character? Do you know what character I'm talking about, though?
No.
Zeus's son, half mortal. Half mortal. You don't know Zeus's son who's half mortal? God damn, you do not. I don't know. No ancient history or anything like that, huh?
Damn.
Not into that. Do you know any of Zeus's sons?
I probably do.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Who's the most famous guy in Greek? It's not necessarily history. He's kind of, I wasn't a real person. The person that I acted, he wasn't real.
Okay.
Right? Okay, he was strong. Okay?
Strong. Okay.
He's really strong. He would, pick boulders up above his head. That's how strong he was.
Wow,
Even though he was a human, he was...
Oh, Hercules.
You've heard of me. That's
Hercules,
right. Yeah,
Hercules.
that's who I played. I played the character of Hercules. You're absolutely right. Do you remember? You clearly didn't watch it.
No.
Show it all. So it would be hard for you to know who I am. All right, you know what? I'm gonna break down my name for you. Okay. I'm gonna break down my name for you. Don't. Let me explain. Okay, that's a clue for my first name. Let me explain a little bit. That's a clue. Definitely a clue for my first name. I just want to say I've had a very short career. Another clue to my first name. A very short career. It was dark after the whole Hercules series ended. Another clue. Let me explain. Short, dark. Just saying, these are clues for my first name. If you know a person that has anything to do with, let me explain. This person is short. The person is dark, which might let you know what kind of race they are.
Oh, okay.
So that's just a clue for my first name.
I'm
just saying, if you guess the person that I just described,
let me explain.
Then you will totally be able to guess my first name.
Dark.
So the person who I just described has the same first name that I do. Let me explain. Short, dark. Just saying.
Let me.
I don't know why you keep saying let me. I don't know why you keep doing that. That has nothing to do with the clues that I just gave you.
Okay, so let me explain. That's a clue for the.
So
first
I gave
name.
you 3 clues.
So let me short.
Let me explain. Short and dark. Those are the 3 clues.
They're so stupid.
Okay. Do you know? Let me ask you a question. Have you seen Jumanji?
Yes.
Okay. There's a person in that movie that has my first name.
The new or the original Jumanji?
I'm talking about the new one.
The new one. Okay.
Cairo,
So there's someone in that movie
that has my first name.
Okay, so we have Dwayne, Kevin,
Jack.
Jack.
One of those is my first name. And by the way, I described the person in the beginning with
Kevin.
the 3 clues.
Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Kevin Hart.
All right, but that's not my whole first name is not Kevin Hart.
Okay.
My first name is what?
Kevin.
Yes, that's my first name. You're absolutely right. So
I was like Lenny.
now the second part, my last name is going to be really hard.
Okay.
Okay. Do you like frozen treats?
Yeah.
Right, you like frozen treats. You like orange, fruit-flavored frozen treats.
Kevin.
These are clues to my last name.
Oranges.
I'm giving you. But what does this thing make? This thing is fruity.
Juice.
It's frozen.
Oh, it's a fruit.
Fruit, but what do you call that? If it's not a popsicle, it's definitely not a popsicle.
So it's not a popsicle, but it's a frozen fruit.
It's a frozen treat. You're not. I feel like you're not listening to my words. I'm saying words, but you're not listening to them.
So,
all right, frozen treat.
Frozen treat.
Right. It's made of fruit. It's kind of in the ice cream family. What do you call that? It's usually orange. Starts with an S. Do I? It's a frozen treat. It starts with an S.
A Sunday.
No. I'm gonna give you another clue.
Kevin. It's a frozen treat.
It's a frozen treat.
It's a fruit.
It's not that it's a fruit. It's a frozen treat that happens to be made from fruit. It's a frozen fruity treat is what I'm trying to say. It's a frozen fruity treat. Similar to ice cream. What is that called?
It's a frozen fruit.
It's a frozen fruit treat similar to ice cream. No. What are other frozen? Okay, all right. I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna give you another clue.
I'm crying.
Okay,
Kevin.
So this my last name has 2 syllables. I'm gonna start with the first syllable.
Okay.
What does a bird do?
Fly.
Wait, let me finish.
I'm sorry. I need to shut up. I've lost the right to speak.
What does a bird do when he's not flapping his wings? Oh my God.
He's sitting?
No, he's in the air.
Oh,
but
gliding.
he's not. Okay, what's another word for gliding? Starts with an S. Remember S is...
Sailing.
No, that is not what birds do. They do not sail.
Okay, so he's in the air. He's not flying.
Right.
But he's in the air.
And he's... Starts with an S.
He's swerving.
Okay, start that. What do you call a slutty girl?
Slut.
What do you call a slutty girl? H. It starts with a goddamn H. Okay, so start with that first part. Start with the sound.
So.
Okay. What is a word that sounds like that birds do? They soar.
Oh, they soar.
Yes, bitch. Great.
Soar.
Okay, now.
What the fuck?
Hold on. Let me just listen. Your soar is the first syllable. You said soar.
Soar. Okay.
Okay. What is this tool in ancient days? We still use it to this day, but it's a weapon.
Okay.
Okay. It's also a name for something we put on our neck. It's an ancient weapon. Also the name of something we put on our neck. What do we put on our neck when we're dressed up?
A tie.
Okay, what's the other thing, though? That's like a tie. It has the tie in it, but there's a thing before.
Necktie.
Okay, no, not just that. But what's the other version? There's
A bow tie.
Oh, okay.
Bow tie.
What's the first part of that?
Bow.
Okay, all right. What's the first part that you say? What does a bird do?
Soar. Sorbo.
So,
Sorbo.
what's my name?
Kevin Sorbo.
Great, fantastic. God damn.
Wait. So Kevin, what was the frozen treat? What was
Sorbet.
What the fuck? I don't know what the fuck a sorbet is. I would have never fucking got sorbet. Like, what the fuck is this?
You don't know what a sorbet is?
I've heard it, but I've never like used it like in a sorbet.
Oh my god, you don't know what a sorbet
My
is.
God.
That's great. Holy shit. Okay. All right, guys.
Also, you said what do birds do when they're not flapping, but they're in the
Soar.
That's gliding.
They soar.
No, soar is like when you're going like I don't know. Soar is like a more
We need
emotional name for gliding.
Right. It's another word for gliding.
Okay.
Soaring and gliding is the same thing. It's
Sorbet.
just another word.
I'm so glad you because I would have never got sorbet.
I was like, yeah, I need to change this. He doesn't know what
Kevin Sorbet.
Sorbo.
Sorbo.
Yes.
So-
This is how it's. I say sorbo, but I don't know. This is how it's pronounced.
Kevin Sorbo. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea. What does he do now? Is he like in politics?
Nothing. I think he makes like weird ass religious movies. I don't know. One of those.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you guys very much for joining us. Hopefully, next episode. Fucking
Sorbet.
Couch. Yeah. Well, we gonna talk about this movie. Hey.